This is the first thing that any reviewer will see to your research paper, and if your paper does not contain novelty, he will reject it. So today I will be discussing about why our research papers gets rejected. We work hard on our research papers, we send our papers with high hopes, and when they are rejected or sent back to us, it hurts, isn't it? So from my experience, I will be telling you some very important points of how you can prevent your paper from being rejected. Coming straight to the point, point number one is lack of novelty in a research paper. See, whenever we send a paper to any good journal, the first thing that the reviewer sees is novelty, uniqueness, or new thing in your algorithm, whether your algorithm of the paper is new or not. Ensure that first your paper contains some novelty. Second, and most importantly, you are explaining that novelty properly in your paper. For instance, just add a few sentences of how your paper is novel in the abstract part. Just add a few points of novelty of the paper at the end of your introduction part, and just add a slight paragraph just at the end of literature review section. So point number one is novelty. Ensure that it is well explained. Point number two is lack of clarity in your paper. See, when we document a paper, one of the most common mistakes that we make is we write too much English, too much text, isn't it? Now, writing too much is a big problem. If you are just starting into it, if you are just starting into the research, you are bound to have this issue. You can end up writing too much about a specific sentence. So beating around the bush should not be the case in our research paper. It should be specific, precise, up to the point, and explain what you are trying to explain in as less sentences as possible. So this is very important. Point number two, that is clarity in your paper. Now point number three of why your paper gets rejected is not adding a problem formulation section to your paper. This is very important actually. Whenever you send your paper to any good journal, reviewer wants to see what problem your paper is addressing. Now, you can just add a few sentences of it in the introduction part, few sentences of it in the proposed algorithm part, but that's not adequate, believe me. Why don't you add a separate section of problem formulation after the introduction and literature review section, and explain what problems of the past work your paper is addressing. Researchers around the world usually skip this particular section. They don't write problem formulation, and that becomes one of the major factors of why their paper gets rejected. So I would strongly recommend you to add this problem formulation part in your paper, because it will clearly give the reviewer an idea of the problems that your proposed algorithm is going to address. Point number four of why your paper can get rejected is not adding appropriate references to your paper. Now, when I say the term appropriate references, I mean to say wherever you are sending your paper to whichever journal, try to add at least 2 or 3 references from that particular journal. For example, I am sending my paper to IEEE Assess. I will try to add at least 2 or 3 research papers or references of IEEE Assess into the my research paper reference section. This will do 2 things. First, it will ensure that the area of research of our paper is same as the area of research of the journal, and they cannot reject our paper on the basis that our research paper area does not belong to their area. Point number 2 it will do is it will increase the citations of that journal if your paper is accepted. If your paper is accepted and it contains 2 or 3 references of that journal, it will be an advantage to that journal as well, because its citations will increase. So these are some of the common tricks, or some of the tricks that I learned from my research experience that you should do in order to get your paper through and get accepted. Reason number 5 of why your paper can get rejected is wrong choice of journal. See, where you are sending your paper is very important. Choice of journal is very important. Some journals that are from your research areas may accept your paper with slight ease as compared to others. So you have to be very wise enough and you have to identify that which journal to send. Some of them takes less time for the decision, some of them takes long times for the decision. Now to see that which one takes more times, it's important that you see the journal matrices on the journal website before sending the paper. They will clearly show you the approximate time that a journal may take, and you can see the comments or reviews about that journal on the ResearchGate or many other research platforms to see that how much time they take and what is their review process. So depending upon your research area, you have to be very wise to choose where you are sending your research papers. Do let me know about your research area in the comment section below, and I will be able to recommend that to which journal you should send your own research paper. So if you like the video, please share it and subscribe it by clicking the subscribe button below, and stay tuned for more research videos.